Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thought I'd just do a quick video. I've had a few people message asking where we're up to with the i200 restoration. There's not going to be an update on this for a couple of days due to other business commitments, so I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on where we're at, what's next in store for this one, and also I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what's next for the channel. I've had a few people messaging to ask what's coming next once this one's done. We do have a few vehicles in the lineup, as you can see there. There's a few vehicles stored in here, so I'm going to start with this one. So what's next for this is we've started getting the floor pans in. I've got the splashback in a rough position. This will need trimming and reshaping. These always stick out a little bit from the A-post closing panel. As per factory, there was always a lip there, so it does look a little bit weird at the minute, but that will all tie in once this is all the other panels are in place on this one. So yeah, this is what we're going to be doing next. We're going to hit this corner. The last video you'll see there was a big hole there. Once I've got some strength back in here, I've started to put some pieces of chassis rail in for the inner, and then I'm going to build this inner section to put some strength back in the car, and then I can get the jig back on. Make sure the holes are in the right position for that. Obviously the floor pans just fell a little bit short there for the bulkhead, so we're going to put a little patch in the bulkhead. We've also got to patch up this inner wing, and then we'll move on into the battery tray. All this is going to be coming out and replacing one of Dave's panels, which I have in a box over here. See there, it's a good bit of kit. Also comes with the bolt hole in there for the battery retaining clamp, so that's a bit of a bonus. That's going to take up a lot of space in there. That's going to go fit in there nicely once it's all cut out and resized. It's going to be filling that big hole there. We also have this washer, what we call a washer bottle tray. This is where the screen wash bottle sits. All this is going to be cut out underneath there, and that panel is going to go fit in there nicely. Again, that's another one of Dave's panels. Absolutely brilliant that these are available. So we're going to get that done, the batch tray done, and obviously then we've got the chassis rails, outer skins to fit. We've got the sill to do. We've got the A-post outer panel to replace. We've also got these sections here which should be covered by the outer sill skin. We've got to rebuild that inner in there. As you can see, that's all completely rotten in there, so we're going to do what we did on the other side with this side. Again, we're going to have to finish these, put these finishing plates in. Same again on this side. I've got this rear wheel arch to do, and this lower rear quarter panel. I've got the spare wheel well still to do. A couple of patches on this rear panel. We've done this side pretty much. That's not so far off now. You can probably see there we're starting to get a bit of flash rust. This is always a concern of mine when you're working with bare steel. It does start to flash rust quite quickly. So what we're going to do with this, rather than priming it, we're going to go with the phosphoric acid, which we've used on a few cars. The phosphoric acid will completely strip this bit of flash rust back off that steel, and it also leaves like an etched finish, so it will stop that rust coming back for quite some time, long enough for us to keep welding on this and leave it in bare steel till we've completed all this welding. We're then going to hit this with any pitted areas. We're going to use the built amber hydrate 80 on any little bits that are pitted and bits of rust. Once that built amber's gone off, we're then going to use zinc rich primer and get a good couple of coats of zinc rich primer right underneath this. Again, that'll hold the rust back. Once we've got the zinc rich primer on, we'll then go over the top with either an epoxy or a 2-pack primer, and then once that's on, we're going to make a decision whether we're going to use a bed liner under here in body colour, or whether we're actually going to paint this in a 2-pack top coat and do it all so it's a nice smooth gloss shiny finish. So I've not decided yet whether we're going to bed line this or whether we're actually going to use a top coat under there. Either way, it's going to be body coloured. So that's pretty much where we're at with the i200. There's still lots and lots to do. I did run out of MIG gas on the last video, so I need to get that bottle replaced. That's another thing that's held up the build this week, just due to work and other things going on. I've not had a chance to get that bottle refilled just yet, so I'm hoping to get that done for Friday and get back on this over the weekend and get a good chunk of work done, and I will then put a new update video on that. So that's that out the way for now. And then coming up, next in line will probably be this, which we call a Mancona. This is a Manta hatchback, Opel Manta B hatchback, fitted with an Ascona front end. So from wings forward, this is actually all the Ascona front panel, all Ascona front lights and grille. And as you can see there, that's not a standard engine. That is actually a 3.9 Rover V8, which I've been told is spec'd up to TVR spec with the quad Delorto carbs there. This engine's had a lot of work. It was fully rebuilt around 20 years ago. This was actually built by a friend of my brother's. I've known this car since I was pretty young. Engine's been fully rebuilt. It's had a lightning balanced crank. It's had all gas flowed heads, big valves, big cams. It's semi-dry sumped. There's quite a lot of stuff done on this. Lightning balanced flywheel. It's using the Rover SD1 5-speed gearbox. It's got custom headers, full custom stainless exhaust, full set of Bilsteins on this, competition springs. It's lowered. The body kit on this is actually made from Manta Astra. That's actually a Manta Astra kit. It's been made to suit the car. I've got the Engelmann mirrors on there as well, and the BMW E30 MIM alloys, which suit the car really well. So this is going to be quite an interesting build for the channel. We have had this car running very, very briefly. It fired up, but we had an issue with the fuel pump. So I've took the fuel tank off, and basically there was a lot of rust in there. The car has been sat for probably around 15 or 20 years now. So as you can imagine, the fuel tank there was quite bad inside, and it actually clogged the fuel pump up. So I've removed the tank. I then found that there was a hole in the boot floor that I rusted through. So I need to just put a patch in the boot floor, get the fuel tank reconditioned. I've already fitted a new fuel pump. Once we've got that on, and I'm going to do a video of this doing its first proper start up, which should be quite interesting, because I remember hearing this thing start about 20 years ago, and it's scary loud. I mean, this thing sounds absolutely phenomenal. So that is going to be a really, really good build to watch out for coming up on the show. And then over there next to it, you've got his sister. Both of these cars was built alongside each other for many, many years. This car was actually gifted to me by my brother. My brother was building this one, his friend was building that one. I took over this car in about 2015, I think, and I actually managed to get this on the road in 2019. I was running a C20XE Vauxhall red top engine in it. I managed to get it to Sywell Aerodrome for the VBOA National Rally in 2019. The car won a top 10 award, but I was having problems with the engine. It just wasn't running very well at all. So I've since took the engine out of that. As you can see, there's nothing in there at the moment. Now I think I've decided to go a different route with this, and I'm actually going to run a 2.4 camming head on here, which is going to be fully forged, fully balanced, a gas flowed head, running twin 48 Webers, and then we'll decide on the management system and stuff on this. Bodywork on this is still pretty good. I actually debumpered this car. It's got this Ascona 400 bonnet on there. It's got the same body kit using the Manta Astra, but on this car we actually used the Manta GTE side skirts, made them fit, and we bonded all this in and made it really nice and tidy. As you can see on this car, that is actually still using the Manta Astra side skirts compared to the Manta ones on here. I actually prefer these ones, and may go down this route on that car yet, not too sure. This has got the Barbette C alloys on there. It's actually got a Calibra Turbo tilt and slide roof fitted on this, so it's got an electric tilt and slide sunroof. It's de-locked, it's de-bumpered front and back. It's got a really good look about this car. It did get a lot of attention when it was on the road in 2019. Bodywork and paint still really good. Just a couple of little bits and bobs to do. I've removed the dash on this, ready to reinstall the electric power steering. It did have it installed, but again I was having issues with it. It was a bit of a rush build this back in 2019. It was the first car that I actually ever restored on my own. Well, say on my own, majority of it on my own, apart from the bodywork and paint. So yeah, it was a bit of a rush build. I just wanted to get it on the road. This one's actually using the Vitelloni mirrors, which are a really nice rare mirror on this one. So again, this is going to be another interesting build. This is probably going to be further down the line, because I will probably be doing this one first. Now, a few of you that have followed me for a number of years will have seen I've built quite a few cars now, mainly the Mantas. Recently sold my orange i240 replica. Missed the car quite a lot, to be fair, and I've actually bought this as its replacement. As you can see here, this has got the i240 kit on it as well. This one is actually running something quite interesting, a Sierra Cosworth engine. Again, this engine was fully rebuilt around 15 years plus ago. Never been turned over, never been started since, so we're hoping the internals of this is still all good inside there. Obviously we will have to do some checks and make sure everything's good before we even attempt to try and fire this up. The engine's only in mock-up stage at the moment. Obviously stuff like this is going to be coming off. I'm probably going to repipe it, put a big front mount aluminium intercooler, big aluminium rad on there, probably use the RS500 intercooler. But that's going to be a very, very interesting build. This car has actually got a 5-stud wheel conversion as well. Some BBS 17-inch split rims on there as well. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to use these yet, because I do have some Revolution RX deep dish 5 spokes as well that I could potentially use. I've got some new old stock door skins to go on here. The car's fully caged out. Really, really good shell this. This is an early Manta B car, which is actually built using better steel. The steel was actually quite a little bit thicker on the early Bs, didn't tend to rot as much. It's a non-sunroof, as you can see, so it's basically just full of flash rust where it's been sanded back in the past and never treated properly. Again, this car was built by my brother's friend many years ago. Again, I remember this car when I was a kid, actually being built alongside this one. Now this one is my brother's 400 replica. This one we've actually just done a 4HA rear axle conversion on. We're using a Jag V12 Powerlock diff. That took some doing, that axle, but it's now installed. Again, we've got the 5-stud conversion in there, fully caged out. This is a really good car, really good shell. Never welded on. This was a one-owner car. It actually had rear end damage. As you can see here, we've put a new old stock rear quarter panel on this car a number of years ago. 400 kit from Martin via the Opel Manta Owners Club. Probably the best quality kit you can get. This is using the original Ermshire moulds. As you can see there, it's got the Ermshire stampings on the kit. And again, interesting build. Running a Cosworth in this as well. So these two cars was built together. This car has now been in progress for over 20 years. My brother actually hit a bit of a brick wall with that rear axle. He was only trying to do this in his garage at home. Didn't really have the equipment or the space to do that conversion, so we got it into our unit probably a couple of years ago, and we actually managed to get the axle done quite quickly, and the car has progressed quite a lot since. Really tidy under this car. It's all under sealed, all the axles now polybushed and painted. Rear disc conversions on there, actually using Lancia Delta Integrale calipers with some big monstrous discs in there as well for good measure. So again, this is going to be a really interesting build. So we've got a few cars there, guys, to be going on with. So as you can see, there's some really interesting stuff to come on to the channel in the coming months, if not years. We've also got other cars besides these stored in various different places that will enlighten you on in a later video. But for now, I just thought I'd do a quick video, just a bit of content for the channel, just to answer some of your guys' questions, put you in the picture as to what's to come on the channel, put you in the picture as to where we're at with this, and to answer the question as why there's not been much of an update over the last couple of days. It's just basically due to other business commitments. Very busy at the moment, and I've just not had much time to get here. I've just been doing a couple of hours a night, and then started doing this section the other night, and then run out of mid gas, so that ended that night. So yeah, hopefully get this back on the roll over the weekend, and I will probably upload the latest video Saturday night or Sunday on this car. But for now, that's it. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.